You're not rushing anymore, but your mind still is. The house is quiet, yet your thoughts are louder than ever. Overthinking doesn't disappear with age. It deepens. You don't need more advice. You need mental stillness. When did the noise move inside your head? There comes a strange season in life when everything around you slows down, but something inside speeds up. The calendar isn't packed anymore. The phone doesn't ring as often. The responsibilities shrink. And yet, the mind refuses to rest. After 60, many people discover a quiet, private struggle no one prepared them for. When life becomes calmer on the outside, the inside becomes restless. Old regrets replay in high definition. Health worries grow teeth. Conversations from 10 years ago resurface at 2 a.m. You lie in bed staring at the ceiling and your body is still. But your thoughts are sprinting. Overthinking is exhausting. It tightens your chest. It disrupts your sleep. It makes small concerns feel enormous. It steals peace from evenings that should feel gentle. And here's what most people misunderstand. This isn't just mental weakness. It's not a personality flaw. It's not that you think too much. In Buddhist practice, the mind is never treated separately from the body. Monks understood centuries ago, long before neuroscience confirmed it, that digestion, breath, and nervous system rhythm directly shape the speed of thought. Before we talk about what monks eat differently, we need to understand why the way most of us eat today keeps the mind in motion long after the day is done. 1. A restless gut creates a restless mind. Anxiety often begins in the stomach, not the brain. Most people try to calm their thoughts by arguing with them, but the mind is often just reacting to something deeper: a tight stomach, a bloated abdomen, a spike in blood sugar, a body that doesn't feel steady. When the gut is irritated, the brain receives one message: something is wrong. A tense gut keeps the mind scanning for danger. The gut and the brain are in constant conversation. When digestion is irritated, from cold food, rushed eating, caffeine spikes, heavy meals late at night, the nervous system interprets instability. And instability feels like a threat. You may not consciously feel afraid, but your body does. And a body that feels threatened produces thoughts designed to protect you. Blood sugar swings fuel racing thoughts. As we grow older, the body doesn't regulate glucose as smoothly as it once did. Sharp spikes and crashes create internal stress. That crash at 3 p.m., that sudden unease at night, that wave of restlessness after dessert. These aren't personality flaws. They're physiological alarms, and every alarm invites thinking. There's an old Zen story about a student who complained that his mind would not quiet during meditation. The master asked him what he had eaten. The student was confused. "What does food have to do with enlightenment?" The master replied, "When the stomach is unsettled, the mind becomes its servant. You can't calm the mind if the body feels unstable. In the later chapters of life, digestion naturally slows. Enzyme production decreases. The gut lining becomes more sensitive. Meals that once felt harmless now create heaviness or subtle inflammation. When the digestive system feels stressed, the mind compensates by staying alert, monitoring, analyzing, preparing. Overthinking is often just a nervous system looking for safety. Monks protect digestion not because they fear illness, but because they understand stability quiets thought. They warm their food. They eat slowly. They avoid overstimulation. They reduce irritation before it becomes inflammation. When the stomach softens, the breath deepens. When the breath deepens, the mind slows. This is not mystical, it is biological. A calm gut activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the state where the body feels safe enough to stop scanning. And this is where the first eating trick begins. Not with what you eat, but with how fast you eat it. 2. Slow eating to slow thinking. Fast eating trains a fast mind. If you rush through meals, your nervous system learns one thing: hurry. It doesn't matter that you're retired. It doesn't matter that no one is timing you. When you eat quickly, the body shifts into urgency mode. And urgency mode feeds restless thinking. You may not even notice it. Fork moving, jaw working, eyes on a screen. Mind is already somewhere else. But your nervous system does notice. It reads speed as pressure, and pressure keeps the mind scanning. The first bite sets the tone for your nervous system. Before the food is even digested, your body is interpreting signals. Are you relaxed? Are you distracted? Are you stressed? The body doesn't wait for calories, it responds to rhythm. In many monasteries, the first bite is taken in silence, not as a ritual of restriction, but as a reset. A pause before the day continues. That pause tells the body, there is no threat here. And when the body feels safe, thought loses its edge. Chewing slowly lowers anxiety in real time. This is not symbolic, it is biological. Slow chewing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. When you chew more deliberately, your breathing naturally deepens. When breathing deepens, cortisol drops. When cortisol drops, the brain stops preparing for problems that haven't happened. There's a Zen story of a monk who struggled with racing thoughts. He asked his teacher how to quiet his mind. The teacher didn't give him a mantra. He gave him a bowl of rice and said, "Count your breaths between each chew." The student was frustrated, but over time he realized something powerful. When he fully tasted, fully chewed, he fully breathed, there was no space left for rumination. You cannot overthink while fully tasting. Overthinking requires distance from the present moment. Slow eating removes that distance. It anchors attention in texture, temperature, and flavor. The mind cannot race ahead when it is fully engaged with what is in the mouth. Fast eating keeps the body in urgency mode, and urgency mode keeps the mind scanning for danger, for regret, for unfinished business. Overthinking is often just a nervous system that never received the signal to stand down. Slowness sends that signal. It tells the body, we are not under pressure, we are not in danger, we are not being chased. In the later chapters of life, when evenings grow longer and thoughts grow heavier, this matters more than ever. The body becomes more sensitive, and the nervous system becomes more reactive. Small habits create large effects. Slow eating is not about discipline, it is about regulation. But pace alone is not enough. Temperature matters more than most people realize. 3. Warm food calms the nervous system. Warmth signals safety to the brain. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for cues: temperature, speed, tone, texture. Warmth is one of the oldest signals of safety the body recognizes. Warmth means shelter. Warmth means protection. Warmth means you are not exposed. When you place something warm in your stomach, your body doesn't just digest it, it interprets it. Cold food tightens digestion and sharpens anxiety. Iced drinks, cold cereal, refrigerated leftovers eaten quickly, and these seem harmless. But cold constricts blood flow in the digestive tract. It slows enzymatic activity. It forces the body to work harder to regulate internal temperature. And when the body works harder, the nervous system stays slightly guarded. That guarded state may be subtle, but it changes everything. A guarded stomach leads to shallow breathing. Shallow breathing feeds alertness. Alertness feeds thinking. And thinking, when excessive, becomes overthinking. A relaxed stomach creates a quieter head. When warmth reaches the gut, circulation improves. Muscles soften. Digestion becomes more efficient. The parasympathetic system activates. That activation tells the brain, stand down. There is no immediate threat. In Zen temples in Japan, mornings often begin with warm rice, porridge, and tea, not because of tradition alone, but because warmth regulates. One teacher once told a student who struggled with anxiety, "Before you seek peace in the mind, place warmth in the belly." It sounds simple, but it is profoundly physiological. Comfort is biological, not emotional weakness. Many people dismiss comfort as indulgent. They think resilience means tolerating discomfort. To tea, these are not luxuries. They are tea. These are not luxuries. They are nervous system stabilizers. Cold drinks, rushed meals, and iced beverages shock the gut. That shock keeps the body slightly guarded, and a guarded body produces a guarded mind. Always scanning, always preparing, never fully resting. There is a story of an elderly monk who was asked why he always held his teacup with both hands. He replied, "Because when I warm my hands, my heart follows." What he understood intuitively is what modern physiology confirms. Warmth reduces defensive activation. Warmth is not indulgence, it is regulation. When warmth and slowness come together, warm food eaten slowly, while in silence, the nervous system shifts from the vigilance to safety, and when safety increases, rumination decreases. This is where something deeper than digestion begins to heal. Not just the stomach, not just the breath, but the speed of thought itself. And when the body no longer feels cold or rushed, the mind finally begins to settle. 4. Eating without distraction. Screens keep the brain in problem-solving mode. Even when you think you're relaxing, your brain isn't. The news scrolls, the subtitles move, notifications flash. The mind evaluates every image, every word. It never truly stands down. And then later, you wonder why your thoughts won't slow down at night. Multitasking teaches the mind to never land. When you eat while watching television or scrolling through your phone, you are training your nervous system to split attention. Split attention becomes chronic mental scanning. Chronic scanning becomes overthinking. You may finish the meal, but you never actually arrive at it. And when you never arrive, your body never settles. Overthinking feeds on stimulation. The more information you consume while eating, the more activated your nervous system becomes. Your body might be chewing, but your brain is reacting to headlines, opinions, arguments, memories triggered by what you see. That constant stimulation keeps cortisol slightly elevated. It keeps your mind alert long after the meal ends. Overthinking isn't always about your life. Sometimes it's about your environment, never going quiet. In Zen monasteries, meals are taken in silence, not out of severity, not as punishment, but because silence regulates. There is no conversation, no debate, no distraction, just breathe, just food, just awareness. A young monk once asked his teacher why they were forbidden from speaking at meals. The teacher answered, "If you talk, you eat with your mind. If you are silent, you eat with your whole body." Silence at the table quiets noise in the head. When you remove stimulation, something remarkable happens. The nervous system shifts, the shoulders drop, the breath deepens, the stomach softens, and with that softening, the mind slows. Because attention is medicine. When you sit, breathe, taste, notice, the mind anchors. You feel texture, warmth, flavor, the weight of the fork, the rhythm of chewing. Your awareness moves from abstraction to sensation, and sensation exists only in the present. Overthinking lives in the past and future, anchoring lives in the now. And when the body feels anchored, thought loses its speed. For many people in the later chapters of life, meals have become background events. Something done in front of a television, something rushed through, something accompanied by commentary from a screen. But this constant pairing of food and stimulation teaches the nervous system to associate nourishment with alertness. No wonder the mind won't rest. When warmth, slowness, and undistracted attention come together, eating becomes more than digestion. It becomes a regulation. It becomes grounding. It becomes a quiet practice of safety. And this leads to the deeper realization monks understand. The mind follows the conditions you create in the body. The mind follows the body. You don't stop overthinking by fighting thoughts. Most people spend years trying to control their minds directly. They repeat affirmations. They distract themselves with television. They try to suppress the noise. And when it doesn't work, they assume something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. Your mind is responding to your body. You calm the body, and the mind follows. Monks do not wrestle with thoughts. They regulate the conditions underneath them. Warm meals, slow chewing, no distraction, gentle rhythm. They send the nervous system one clear message: you are safe. And when the body feels safe, the mind stops searching for danger. Peace is invited, not forced. You cannot command your thoughts to be quiet, but you can change the environment they arise from. You can soften your breath. You can warm your food. Or you can remove the screen. You can slow your chewing. Small actions, deep effects. In the later chapters of life, when nights grow longer and thoughts feel heavier, this matters more than ever. Your nervous system has carried decades of responsibility. It deserves regulation, not pressure. A quiet meal can become a quiet mind. Tonight, try one small shift. One warm meal. No screen. Chew slower than usual. Sit for a moment before the first bite. Let your body arrive. Notice what happens. You may find that the mind doesn't need to be silenced. It simply needs to feel safe. If this resonated with you, share it with someone whose mind never seems to rest. Leave a comment below. Which eating shift will you try first? And if you'd like more monk-inspired wisdom on aging, calm, digestion, and natural healing, subscribe to the channel. Sometimes the quietest medicine is simply how you eat.